Ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to decorate my house like Buddy does in the movie Elf. Now this seems like a daunting task, but about 4 years ago, while my roommates were away over Thanksgiving break, I decided that I was going to decorate my house like Buddy did. And ever since then, I have discovered a love and a passion for making snowflakes. So step aside, Buddy. This is my time to show you how to do a snowflake. How to make a snowflake. Now first, what you're going to need is a medium-sized bowl. And it's kind of nice because while you're making the snowflakes, you can put your scraps in them. And you're going to want to outline with a pen. I actually prefer a pencil, but a pen is easier to see. You're going to want to make a circle on a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And after you have finished cutting it out, you're actually going to want to fold it in half, just like a regular taco. Then you're going to want to fold it in half one more time. And then one last one for good measures. If you're feeling really fancy, you can fold it one more time, but it's difficult to have precise cuts. Speaking of cuts, we have 2 different types of scissors that we're going to be using. I like to use a bigger set of scissors for the bigger cuts, like cutting out the circles, and you don't have to cut them out all but one by one. You can usually cut it out in a stack of 10 like this. Then I have my smaller pair of scissors that I like to use for the more intricate cuts on the snowflake themselves. So I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks of how to make the perfect snowflake. Now, as you can tell, there's a bunch of different types of snowflakes you can make. And all of them are unique and different, and none of them are bad or less than the other. I actually prefer doing types that are kind of more geometric in style and less abstract. But if you want to do something a little more crazy, that's also okay. Just feel free with your cuts. So I'm going to start off by making one that kind of looks similar to this one right here. To get this sort of star-shaped design, you're actually going to start off by making a big cut in the center. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It actually looks better if they're a little asymmetrical. Now, a big piece of advice is to never cut off a whole side of the snowflake. You're never going to make a cut that goes all the way down on either side. If you do this, your snowflake is going to fall apart. Another piece of advice that I like to give is the more empty space, the better. If there's a lot of white, it's going to look really chunky, and it's going to look more like a circle and less like a snowflake. So my advice for beginners is kind of to just follow along the edge. Don't be afraid of the edge, but just make your shapes kind of following the line right here. And you can do triangles, squares, quadrilaterals, it doesn't matter. You can round your shapes. It's really up to you. It's your choice. But that's a big piece of advice that I give, is just have fun with it. I really like kind of following lines that I make already. So see right here, if you follow this line and kind of follow this line, I'm gonna kind of make a square right here, just because it kind of helps inform the shapes that I already have created. A lot of snowflake makers like to cut off the tip as well because it gives it a point. If you look at these different examples, most of them have just an empty center, and it really adds a lot to the depth of the snowflake. And to finish off, I'm just gonna do a simple cut. This one's pretty simple, but if you notice, it's a lot of empty space here. There's not a lot of white left. So when I open it up, it's gonna have a really intricate design. Here you go. It's different than all of them and unique, but still beautiful and not too difficult to make. Now, as you notice, all of these are kind of a little they're not completely flat. I would suggest getting an iron and just ironing over the top of them. And when you do that, it makes a really nice flat shape, and it makes them really easy to string. Now, Buddy, I know that you say the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear, But I have a new motto, and it's the best way to spread Christmas cheer is decorating around for all to see. Thank you so much.